A very good evening, viewers. Welcome to Swarajya Conversations. I'm your host, Sharan Sethi. I'm joined by senior BJP leader Muralidhar Rao for a conversation today on the Gyanvapi controversy. Murliji, namaste. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. How are you?
Fine, fine, thank you.
Sir, let me straight away get into this. There's an allegation that the BJP keeps bringing up communal issues for their own political mileage. Is it actually true in the case of the Gyanvapi mosque issue that is going on right now?
No, ultimately, you have to understand in a democratic country, people have issues always, not just confined to economic issues, livelihood issues, or related to some pure mundane political issues. In a democratic society, people are not restricted to have this kind of issues. Definitely, issues related to collective identity, and related to culture, related to religion, and the issues which have come from the past will continue to have these things, and we must be mature to understand the depth and width of such issues. Otherwise, there is no meaning for a democratic praxis and democratic system in the country, and otherwise there is also no meaning that we have attained the independence unless we resolve the issues in a matured way and in an enlightened way. Everything you put, when issue comes, everything you put on the doormat of a political party, then definitely you are complicating the issue instead of understanding and handling the issues in a matured way. Here in this Gyanvapi issue, definitely BJP being a political party rooted in Indian culture and Indian past glory, and we take pride in all such things. Definitely, we have a view and we have a stake in that. But it does not mean that we are raking up all these issues. If that was the case, we would have done in the past, even in 1951 when Bharatiya Janata Party was founded. So people are becoming aware and people are becoming united to take up the issues which have been pending in the society.
So you actually think that there is some sort of a civilizational awakening due to which a lot of these realities are coming into place. But the Congress alleges that you are merely deflecting from the real issues of price rise, inflation, and petrol prices.
Congress really in on ground it has become party of the ultra conservative and fundamentalist forces who have not accepted the united India and the united people, unity of the society. They have not accepted. Congress unfortunately aligned with such forces from Kashmir to Kanyakumari and from Arunachal to Gujarat. In order to fight BJP, they have not been able to mobilize the people on the real issues, if there are any. BJP in government in many states, BJP is in government at the center. We are now focusing on development issues. We are also focusing on governance issues. We are also focusing on the issues related to welfare of the poor and health and education of the poor. While we are focusing on these issues, we are also, connected with the issues related to culture and the religion. So it does not mean that we are raking up the issues and the Congress is only interested in focusing the real issues of the people. Congress has become the party of the fundamentalist forces and breaking, the forces which are indulging in violence and orthodoxy and medievalism. I would like to say one thing. In the interest of Muslims at large in India, and religion has nothing to do with this kind of violent past. And religion identified and associated with the violent past will continue to have the problems in future also. In my view, Muslims getting identified with Aurangzeb, Muslims getting identified with vandalism, desecration of religious places. Even today, a prayer place based on untruth, based on the violent legacy, cannot be a place of worship in the interest of
Right.
Muslims. It is not just for a Hindu sake they should think about. It is even for their own welfare and prosperity. They should not get unnecessarily identified with such things and say that they are in the crisis. No, that kind of situation never existed in India and it will not have any future.
So you say that, but Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi, if we were to evaluate his statement, he says that we have already lost one Babri Masjid. We are not ready to lose another one. Clearly, it's about religion there.
Asaduddin Owaisi is not a person, a correct leader for the Muslims to represent the issues because his legacy has been the Razakar legacy. His own party was founded by Kasim Rizvi, who killed Hindus. And now he is continuing with the same kind of worldview and same kind of perspective. He is not coming out what is his view on kafir, what is his view on the various places where the evidences are there that the buildings and the monuments are founded on on the desecration or destruction of the Hindu temples and all. So why he want to base his whole argument on these things? He has no argument at all, and he will not stand. And in future also, if Muslims follow him, then definitely it is a dark period for not only Muslims in India, for the Indian nation also. So, how he wants to. You just go and see in Gyanvapi or what is the truth in it. And if any saner person, any person who has got any rationality, comes out in support of that kind of vandalism, then definitely we can argue. He wants to continue with Aurangzeb legacy. It is not possible. It is not acceptable, and no rational person will accept this kind of thing.
And what are your observations on what is developing with the Gyanvapi mosque issue, sir?
Gyanvapi Vishwanath temple is sacred not just for Indians here, Hindus here. For Hindu civilization and Hindu world, it is a central place of worship. It is not one among many. It is one of the very, very, very few, a centrality of the Hindu religion. And the importance of that cannot be understated. So we have to understand that. Second important thing, it has a history. Even in the 11th century BC, Raja Harishchandra, the historical documents are there. And afterwards, even when Muhammad Gori and Ghazni, all these people, they invaded, the consequences of that. And the local sultan, when he destroyed the temple, and again Raja Todarmal has built in there are records, there are evidences, and Maharani Ahalya Bai Holkar has built the present temple after destruction done by Aurangzeb in 1669. So all these things are well documented and evidences are there. Maharaja Ranjit Singh has also helped in reconstruction of the Golden Dome and all. So there is various documents and historic evidences. And if a child of belonging to Hindu religion goes to that place, that will not give a good impression about Islam and Muslims, and it is not good for Muslims. And why they should be interested in obstructing what court has said? Court has simply said, when people wanted to worship there, they wanted to go into the details. Court has asked to go and do the videography. Why, if the Muslims their argument is based on truth, their argument is having the facts and a kind of rationality which is acceptable in court of law, then why they should stop this kind of videography done? Now the that person commissioner appointed is biased. Then now two other people have been appointed by the court. So there cannot be any kind of such arguments, and people must support this court's direction, and they should follow, and that is cooperation to the court's process is not only going to help the judiciary and the process of justice, but it will also create a right kind of impression among the people that Muslims in Kashi or Muslims all over, they don't have any kind of intention other than united India. Otherwise, people are going to get wrong impression, and it is not good for anybody. And Congress indulging in these things will further alienate that party from the people of this country.
So, all said and done, whatever move the Bharatiya Janata Party makes, whether it's the Ram Mandir issue or right now the Gyanvapi issue, the Western media, opposes that tooth and nail because they call that as a fascist move, as an authoritarian move, and they say that the communal violence in India is on the rise. So, how do you plan to manage your own image amid all of this, especially because you're under constant attack from the press?
Western societies have become mature and they know everything and they understand everything and they can resolve the complicated issues of the civilizational nature is not proven yet. And these societies belonging to such countries who have come up only in the last 300 years or 200 years, they do not have a great past. We have to understand their incapacity to understand and comprehend the issues what we are going through, and they cannot preach lessons about tolerance and accommodation uh, to Hindus. And our history proves that in a different way. So we have to understand we are not asking Hindus to, Muslims to leave their religion. We are not asking Muslims not to worship whatever they want. There are issues which have a complex history, and the conflicts are there, and we are going on the document and evidence, and this is the court of Indian courts are getting into the matter and they are initiating. It is not the people who are taking these things into hands and resolving the issues. We have to understand the role of the court in India, and there is a rule of law.
So I know that we are running out of time, but my last question to you is: the left and the Congress alleges that at some point in history, Prime Minister Vajpayee actually said that the BJP will not be pursuing the Mathura issue. So is that going to be true, sir?
No, it's not why you want to bring prime minister into these things. Does it mean that you are not accepting democratic process and people have right to participate in discussions and discourses? And there is a discussion in the street, it is a healthy sign. And the left and the Congress party has done a lot of disservice to Hindus post-independent India, even after partition. These two organizations, they have supported partition. And by resolution, communists, they have supported partition of India. They supported, they have extended a kind of support to creation of Pakistan. And post Pakistan and creation also, they have not done whatever they should have done. So today they got alienated, and the people have become awakened, and people are also getting consolidated, and they are raising the issues which may be uncomfortable for you and inconvenient for you. Does not mean that the issues are wrong. You have to understand. For example, the issues related to Dalits. If these things were uncomfortable, then do you think that Ambedkar was wrong? Issues
Right.
related to groups, issues related to religious sects, issues related to communities are going bound to come in coming days. And Indian society has to learn to handle these things in a mature way. Then only we will be able to create a united, strong India in future.
Thank you so much for joining me today for this conversation, Murliji. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.